She wore a cotton nightie, my mother, which moved slightly at the hemline when the fan turned up toward her, its spinning blades blurring into a disc bolted loosely behind a wire cage. Her nightie was blue, and I, little and black, wore a jersey and jockey shorts. It was raining. There was the leaking roof, buckets and bowls kicked aside, the slippery varnished floor, and then the private warfare turned public, pouring out into the yard. Rain, in a country with only 2 seasons, has a peculiar way of failing to wash things away. Illusions, for example. Instead, making more visible the things that happen in the dark. A hard rain can cause poorly painted secrets to run. It can leave nostalgia waterlogged, making black skins and other surfaces reflective. A hard rain can teach. It was a simple enough lesson, prone as we are to dangerous habits that often harden into customs of denial. When one comes of age in the culture of misogyny, patriarchy, self-hate, and abuse of unimaginable forms, it's an effective shorthand. Don't get in man on woman business. Shorter still, don't get in that. She man cutting she tail, don't get in that. He wife phoning him, don't get in that. Your brother feeling up his son, don't get in that. Your sister pregnant for she father, don't get in that. This one chop down and then shoot the other one, don't get in that. I learned the rhythm of this denial, dancing it like a calendar, but only in my memory. What is bacchanal to a child? What is rhythm? Don't get in that, attack, attack, pack, attack, attack, pack, attack, attack, pack, attack, attack. Breathe. Breathe. Don't get in that, attack, attack, pack, attack, attack, pack, attack, pack, attack, attack. We danced it screaming, my mother and I, refusing to be silent as everything turned en masse. I want to think she knew better than to get involved, but I know my mother. She had already been knocked down in the bacchanal, a metal beam only just missing her head. And there I was, screaming as my mother screamed. The two of us in full voice like a warmed-up alto and soprano, screaming in unison, barefoot and naked, half naked in the yard. We conspired on that day to save our own lives, running the 1.5 miles to Auntie Marjorie's house. Pack, patak, tak, the sound of bare feet, a mother's and sons, as they run for their lives through the streets of San Fernando, running possessed. Out the yard, down the steps, left on Carib Street, right on Upper Hillside Street, left on Rushwood, right on Blanche Fraser, left on Donaldson, right on Richards, quick left on Scott, right on Princess Margaret, right on Turton, left. Safe. Hand in hand, breathless and shining. We almost come to ruin on the heels of that litany. Our conspiracy left us barefoot, skipping puddles for fear of stones or glass beneath the surface. In the rain that night, our embattled bodies shone. But what remains for me are my mother, soaked to the bone in blue, the explosions of rage that lay half-coiled beneath our emancipated tongues, the epileptic contagions of fear and reflex, the way love in motion can look like terror in the eyes of a child. I remember our emancipation. I learned some things from my mother that night. 1. In the futility of trying to save someone who refuses to be saved, you will be forced out of desperation to save yourself. 2. There is a price to pay for refusing the tyranny of custom, for living at a crossroad. 3. Run if you have to, but don't run away. I remember her scream, how it was both precedent and punctuation to our escape. The pack, patak, tak of bare feet on the road that saved us both from the harsher consequences of this particular truth. Run, but don't run away. How we danced it that night. Don't run away, 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 don't run away. The next day we went home, like victims returning to the scene of a crime.